Hi. So it's really hot outside in Japan right now, and I'm pretty bored. So I thought I would film an impromptu video. And today's topic is about how you're not necessarily going to lose weight when you move to Japan. So let me explain. So there's kind of this misconception that all the food in Japan is so healthy and so natural that losing weight in Japan is just going to happen. Just eating normally, not even thinking about it, you're going to drop 15 pounds or something. And that is really not true. Um Maybe literally 100 years ago when people the average person in Japan lived off the land a lot more and ate mostly vegetables, rice and fish or something. Then yeah, if you move to Japan then you probably would lose a fair amount of weight if you're used to more of a Western diet with bread, cheese, meat, etc. Right? But nowadays, because everything's intermixing and you know and that stuff, it's actually pretty hard to lose weight in Japan. It's actually pretty easy to gain weight in Japan if you're not thinking about it at all. So because there's stuff like the convenience store with all these delicious fried chicken, french fries, and then there's a lot of ready to heat, easy to heat up meals that are pretty high in calories, like katsukare or something. Because of stuff like that, it's actually pretty easy to gain weight in Japan if you're not thinking about it, and that's kind of what happened to me. um I've always been on I guess the curvier side. You might even say the chunkier side. I've kind of cared about my weight off and on. I kind of want to do something where I'm trying to eat healthily, but it's not so obsessive that I go crazy. I try to maintain a balance, right? And I think I maintained a pretty good balance when I was living in America. And I was doing pretty well for a while. And then I moved to Japan, and I thought that I was doing the same kind of thing, but I didn't realize that because I went to the konbini or the convenience store so much, like I was eating a lot higher calorie, a lot more higher calorie items than I was in the US. So even if I was eating the same amount of food, what I was eating was a lot denser in calories. I'd always reach for the fried chicken or the like what is it, the sort of like hash browns kind of thing, because they're easy and they're they fill you up quickly, and if you're running to class it's just easy to um do. So, and even onigiri, rice ball, rice balls, those are obviously healthier than a fried food, but they're still pretty high in calories. And again, I'm not trying to shame you from eating onigiri or fried food. I eat that stuff all the time, but I'm just saying it is pretty easy to actually lose track of how many calories you're consuming. So yeah, so that's basically what happened to me. I came to Japan, and especially when I moved to Tokyo and I started going to language school, I gained a fair amount of weight and I didn't even realize it because I wasn't really checking or weighing myself. And I wasn't really, looking at myself in the mirror super closely to realize, until I started realizing that it was harder to bend over, especially if I was sitting on the couch or something, or sitting down. I was starting to bend over, and I would reach for something, and my stomach would get in the way. I couldn't bend over fully because my belly was getting in the way. And I realized that it was, if I was sitting on the floor or on my futon, which was on the floor, it was actually pretty hard to get up from a sitting position. And even when sleeping, if I was on my back and I wanted to roll onto my side, it was hard to roll over because I had so much extra weight. And I started looking at myself more closely in pictures, and I'm like, yeah, actually I am bigger than I used to be. And so that was when I realized I was maybe a year or so into having gained more weight when coming to Japan. I was like, yeah, I need to do something about this. And again, I, of course, want to promote a healthy way to lose weight. I do not want to promote eating disorders at all. There's a way to do it sustainably in moderation and not push yourself too hard. So that's sort of what I did. I started like counting calories, and I started counting calories pretty strictly at first. What I did was I try not to eat over 2,000 calories a day. And then at first it was 2 days a week. I would try to eat 1,500 calories a day, but the rest of the days of the week, I would eat 2,000 a day. And that worked for a while. The 1,500 calorie days were pretty hard, but I am someone who likes to push myself, and sometimes I am a little too hard on myself. So I really tried to stick to it. And sometimes it was pretty hard to do, but at the same time, it did show results. So I started slowly losing weight. And I think I never weighed myself, I think, at my highest weight. I probably weighed myself like, I don't know, like maybe after losing 5 or 10 pounds, or that would be like what? Anyway, I'll do the kilograms thing later. But so at my highest weight, I think I might have been like 220 pounds, or like what, like 100 kilograms, maybe at my highest. And I'm not tall. I'm like 5'2" or 155 centimeters. So like, again, you can see it, right? You can see it. So, yeah, but, oh, sorry. But I started slowly losing weight, and it was going well. But after a while, the whole like the two 1,500 calorie days, like they were really starting to grate on my soul. Like, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something different. And then after like switching stuff up like a few times, like I sort of landed where I am now, which is like I try to eat around 1,800 calories a day, like every day of the week. And of course, I go over that a fair amount. Like it's not something I'm super strict with, but it's like something I try to stick to, right? And often these days, I'm also like too tired to count calories very strictly. So I generally know the amount of food that I can eat that's around that level of calories, right? So that's what I do these days, and it works pretty well. And throughout this whole process, also, I started walking every day, like walking around my neighborhood every day. And at my old apartment, there was a park nearby with like a big track. So I would always walk around that track a bunch. So yeah, like, so this video is a little bit about my weight loss journey, I guess you could call it, but it's not completely the topic of it. But yeah, in total, I think I lost around like 35 to 40 pounds, or like 17 kilograms. So not an insignificant amount. And now my weight is like, I think I'm like around like 85 kilograms, which is like 185 pounds. It kind of lines up nicely with the 85 and 85, but yeah, and I feel pretty happy at this weight. Like I feel lighter. Like things are just like tasks are easier to do. Going upstairs is a lot easier. Yeah, like all that stuff about rolling around in bed and like getting up is like pretty much gone. But yeah, so I know I'm still like medically overweight. But at this point, like if I could lose a little more, I'd be happy. But at this point, like I don't really care that much, because like I'm generally okay at this weight. So anyway, that was sort of my weight loss journey. But back to the main topic of the video, which is that it's actually nowadays, it's actually kind of hard to lose weight in Japan, or it's actually easy to gain weight when you move to Japan if you're not thinking about what you're eating at all. And again, especially I would say in big cities like Tokyo or Osaka, like I was surprised at how hard it is to find like, I don't know, stuff like salad bars, like ways to eat like food with a bunch of veggies. Like say what you want about American food, and a lot of it is true, but like one thing America does well is like they have like semi-healthy to healthy options that are relatively cheap, like Chipotle, with that has a lot of vegetables and like lean protein, like that place Chopped, like what's Sweet Green, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like these kind of like upscale but not too unaffordable, like salad bar kind of places. And like when I was in America, I would just eat one of those every day for lunch. Some people call them like slop bowls. And I think that's accurate, but at the same time, sometimes they are really good, right? So like America has like its slop bowl culture, right? And like that is how I got a lot of my veggie fruits and veggies, well mostly veggies and like proteins back when I was in America. And now in Japan they really don't have that. Like the culture of like eating a ton of vegetables at one time, at least in cities where people aren't really living off the land, like that doesn't exist. Like usually you'll get like a little side salad maybe that's like all just grated cabbage, like it's not actually that appealing. And it's like that's kind of out of the few things I miss about America, that's one of them is like sort of like the slop bowl or like salad bowl culture where you could basically find a salad bowl bar place anywhere, relatively easily, right? But here, there's no such thing. Like, yeah, it's like if you don't have time to make your own food, it's not like vegetables aren't available at the supermarket. Of course they are. But if you don't have time to make your own food all the time, then like you're basically going to the konbini, getting like a microwave meal with not much veggies that's high in calories, katsukade or something, or like yakisoba. Um, yeah. Or you're going to like the prepared food section at the grocery store, which is maybe a little bit better, but like still not great. But that's mostly what I do. Like I don't actually cook that much. So yeah. And again, I have noticed a difference. Back when I was living in Shikoku, which is a much more rural area, there was definitely a lot more options to eat fresher food. Like, just like little mom and pop restaurants would have like, like teishoku set meals with a lot of fresh vegetables in them. And so down there in Shikoku, in a more rural area, it's still easier, I would say, to eat fresh, healthy food. But in like the urban centers, I've really realized that like it's pretty easy to just eat more fried food than you ever even noticed you were eating. So yeah. So yeah, I guess this is just like sort of a warning to people who are coming to Japan and have this like preconceived notion that like that you will automatically lose weight when you move to Japan because all the food is so healthy. Um that is definitely not true. From someone who is a frequent konbini enjoyer, that is not true. Yeah, so just, be mindful of it again, like ultimately do whatever you want. It's your life. But yeah, just be mindful of it. Because it kind of took me by surprise. Okay, yeah. Anything else I want to say in this video? Let's see. Oh yeah, and I don't know. I guess like I mean like Japanese women are kind of known for being skinny, right? And I don't exactly know the cause of this. Like I mean it is genetic, I think, for sure. But I think a lot of especially younger Japanese women do have eating disorders, unfortunately, or like maybe they're still eating, but like they're very strict with what they eat. And I think that's unfortunate. Like I love food. Like I'm sort of a foodie, and I enjoy, going out and having a nice meal. And like I think food is one of the best things in life, to enjoy. And so basically as a foodie, I have to remember like I still want to enjoy food, but not so much that like I gain a bunch of weight and feel terrible because I can't do anything and I'm like not active at all, So yeah, I guess there's a balance to everything. And also like it's not like it's only Japanese women who have eating disorders. I mean, anyone can have an eating disorder, but it is a thing here, unfortunately. And so I'm someone who's like too hungry to have an eating disorder. Like if I'm too hungry, I will either like probably pass out or get really cranky or like I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna eat. So, yeah, it got a little rambly towards the end, but I'm just saying, if you're coming to Japan, you will not automatically lose weight. Just be mindful of what's going on. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.